All right, welcome back to the Shock Drop Podcast, your go-to source for all things sneaker related. I'm Chris, and I'm here with my co-hosts Kyle and Azeem. In this episode, we have a lot to cover, including the latest rumors and updates about Kanye West and Adidas's reunite and possible redistribution of shoes. And we also have a small discussion of all the samples that have suddenly flooded the market from the Adidas Yeezy world, and a small discussion about the gentrification of sneaker community and I guess the sneaker world that we've seen being talked about lately. And as always, if you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe and please rate on the video. And of course, if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, we appreciate a follow and a rate on the episode. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in. So Azeem and Kyle, I guess to get things started, updates with Kanye and Adidas. So it seems like, I don't know if I'd be saying woo, but
No, I know.
it seems like they might actually have worked it out. This is all still rumors, right? I don't think anything's still official, but
There's no press release yet, right, from them?
there's still no press release. But a lot of larger reporting agencies, if we want to call them that, that's Complex, Hypebeast, everybody, right, who's posted in the news, they've all now changed from like the rumors to like, oh, they've reached an agreement. And the agreement seems to be that they will sell all the the shoes, right, that they have on hand, which is like $570 million worth.
Yep.
But they won't make anything new. And I don't know. So if they release everything, I guess, as it is, would you buy it?
As personals, no.
Nothing?
Maybe
Not
Pirate
even
Black
foam runners?
350s.
Okay.
No.
Foam runners and Pirate Black 350s. Probably not for personal, but maybe resell.
Yeah. Like for resale, totally. But like for personal, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I'd touch it with a 10-foot pole, honestly.
Unless he comes
If
out
it's
with
a
some
good foam runner colorway, maybe.
That's what I was just about to say.
Nope, I'm Team Crocs.
Team Crocs, wow. Not Team Salehi though, right?
No, I do
Just
have
Team
that pink
Croc?
pair, remember?
Oh, you have was it Kawada?
Kawada, yeah.
Yeah,
The salmon pair.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, but it took forever to find that size, but I digress.
Yeah, but yeah, so I think outside of, I guess, me and Azeem, we know where Kyle stands. The other rumors that have been going on is that some Adidas employees or factory workers, I don't want to name them in specific, but the claim is that their shipments going out from Adidas with all the Yeezy products for repurposing. And the repurposing would be taking the name off of the insole and like removing the Yeezy branding.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of, I don't know if it's a conflicting report or maybe that was Adidas trying to like test and see like, okay, how much is it going to cost us?
Yeah.
Right. Would you buy it then if it had no Kanye name on it?
No.
I mean,
because
really?
We saw the slides that they tried to do before, even the breakup, and they were not that great.
The Adalets?
Yeah.
But then, like, even if they are removing the Yeezy branding, right? They never said they were going to lower the retail on them, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the big issue I think a lot of people still have with that is they're still going to be asking, right? Like $230 for 350s.
Yeah, 300 for 700s.
And it's no longer a luxury collab, right? It's just Adidas at that point.
Yeah.
Do you think it would still move? Like 350s would still move in consignment because people wouldn't really know the difference, especially if they don't have the name on the side.
Yeah, I was gonna say if the colorway is good enough, I think it'll still move.
But towards the tail end, but towards the tail end of Yeezy supply and the initial deal, I mean the colorways were like sitting for a little bit, like they weren't.
Monos are like sitting in stock.
Yeah. Was it the Jade Ash or whatever? Slate?
Yeah. The Sage? Oh, the Slate is the new one. Yeah. I think the what was it? I think the red stripes, that was like the retro 350 that they brought back for Yeezy.
Yeah.
And I think that still did okay, but that kind of like bricked out too, didn't it? Or near.
Let's see, what is it sitting at right now?
That's
think
kind of
red
what would put me
stripes.
at where if the new shoes are gonna do well was if that one did well, because that was a shoe that was like $1,000 Yeezy for like I was selling those for $1,000 at some point.
They're
I mean,
sitting low
they're kind of
300
low,
right
but
now.
they're decent still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay. So I
comparably
mean,
to what we saw before with like some of these brick
yeah,
Yeezys, like
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
they definitely missed the mark on like the mono colorways. Like that material
Yeah.
change up was not it. Like
Nope.
nobody seemed to want those. Those were sitting on undefeated, I think, in every colorway. Nobody wanted those. They were just not a good shoe.
Nobody asked for them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the knit is just comfier. I can't
Mhm.
imagine anybody would actually want that kind of meshish material on it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
but yeah,
something I saw was that people were saying because Adidas team is like so based in Europe, they don't understand the US market. Do you
Mm.
think if they like had a whole new team come in to do the marketing and like colorways and design, do you think they could actually recover the like Adidas version of the 350?
Kyle, you got something?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about that.
I think it would take a while.
I think so
That's my only
too. I think
concern with it. Like I
if
don't
they did
unless they
better
just hire like
colorways,
people straight off the street, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? But yeah, better colorways for sure is what they need.
right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how if you're if having a regional team would.
so like hypothetically, like Nike's like team for marketing or whatever for like some of
Uh-huh.
the best models, we had those people come in.
I think didn't Adidas hire the Nike ACG guy
Oh yeah, I forgot about
recently?
that.
They did
Yeah,
just
that was
I
like
think that
a
was
few
for
days ago.
basketball. Yeah, so maybe in like,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
year that could do better, but
maybe
I don't really that was for what? It was for football, right?
No, it was basketball.
basketball.
I
Oh, it's
remember
Basketball.
seeing it.
basketball.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
the
think Adidas's basketball division is doing so hot right now because Harden
They're
shoes,
trying to
I don't
push it
even
more
know.
now too.
right.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
see.
definitely a interesting move from them. I
Nathan
think
Van Hook,
they have
right?
they what?
Nathan Van Hook. Is
Oh,
that
is that his
the?
name? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
I think that with New Balance picking up celebrities and athletes now, I think they have a lot of competition. Because I saw
Mhm.
Kawhi's new shoes and stuff, or new colorways are coming out right with New Balance.
Mhm.
And like I honestly can't even tell you the last time I saw a new Adidas basketball shoe outside of like maybe Dame. Like he's the only person that's got stuff I think for them at this point. The Quantum
They
obviously was.
tried to push them for All Star Weekend, but it's like
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
all right. It's nothing crazy.
Mhm.
Still.
Oh, Nathan Van Hook was responsible for the Air Yeezy 2s when he was at Nike.
Oh, that
Oh,
actually might be
Wow.
a good
oh,
pickup then.
yeah.
What does it say? Like what he did, or is it just like he had a part in it? Not to diminish anything that he
Uh,
did, but it just
Nathan Van Hook started at Nike in November '08, working as a footwear designer on its Nike sportswear line. There, he was responsible for the Air Yeezy 2, Kanye West's second and final Nike signature shoe.
Mm.
The Air Yeezy 2
So
remains the most recognizable sneaker in Van Hook's portfolio.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I gotta say
yeah.
that's one hard shoe to top, first of all.
Yeah.
So that's got to be a top of anybody's portfolio.
It better
I'd
be.
love to know what else he's got in there, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited. I think some of it was ACG stuff, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And ACG stuff did good for a while.
yeah.
But going on with the Adidas and Kanye stuff. So now that they're kind of offloading their stuff, we
Mhm.
started to see a lot of samples and stuff pop up almost from like every side. So I know Roscoe, he had 650s, or not 650, sorry, 950s,
Mhm.
the old Yeezy boot that came out around the same time as the 750, and he also had a pair of the infant. What are those? The moons,
The moon
moon
gray.
grays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Foam runners.
which I don't think we've ever seen infant pairs of those before, besides Kim Kardashian. So definitely. Oh yeah, he had the blacks 950s.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely exciting. I heard a rumor about the 950s coming back, but I wasn't really sure. I don't know if those are just samples or, maybe those were the tests for things coming back. But would you guys I think that might have been a little bit before your time, Kyle. But would you buy
Way before
950s?
mine.
Yeah,
They're so chunky.
yeah,
I think the
they're
retail was
very
a little
thick.
too high. But
Yeah,
like,
retail was like 600, right?
Holy
Yeah,
crap! Really?
Yeah, bro. Retail
it
was
was
six
something
hundred
pretty
dollars
crazy.
on them. It
Oh
was
my
crazy.
goodness. Was this like
At that
supposed to be like a
price?
very like high fashion kind of boot?
This was the
Yeah, I think
original
so.
Yeezy season 1 or 2 stuff. So yeah, that's when stuff was
Oh,
like really. So that's when Kanye was dropping hoodies that were like $500, right? $600. Like people were calling it the homeless clothes and
oh,
stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard any of that, but yeah,
yeah.
that was when all of this came out.
Oh my goodness, $600
Um,
retail?
yeah, I think it was something like that. We're gonna have to check that now because I gotta fact check that. But
That is wild.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
something super high. I might have been. Let's see. Kicks on
you're looking
fire.
up 650, not 950.
Oh God, there's so
Um,
many Yeezy number models, man. I
Yeah,
get them all confused at this point.
would I?
585.
585.
Oh
Yeah,
my
bro.
goodness,
It
would I
was
buy them nowadays?
nuts, man.
I don't know. I mean, to resell, maybe if there's a demand for them, but for
They're
personal,
Yeah, but I don't think there'll
yeah.
even be that much demand for these. I think they'll
No
yeah,
sell
way.
out, but just sit at retail.
right, because that is a hefty retail.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
they were outrageously expensive, first of all. But also that was the time when Kanye was R&Ding, right? So he
Mhm.
went like 16 million in debt, right? That was all of him
Yeah,
spending all his money trying to get out there. So like he did it, but
yeah.
I heard a lot of complaints about that shoe. It's very narrow. It's like a very thin boot, and the you can see how thick that sole is. I mean, you're
Oh,
walking on
very
like
thick.
boots. Yeah, it was an
Were
interesting shoe.
were they, like, very limited?
I don't I don't even. I mean, I think they were pretty
I think
limited.
Mm,
I think it was also one of those things where it's like the people who bought them were only mostly like people who just wanted to keep them for themselves. So
mm,
Yeah,
anyone who wanted after the
designer level
fact like
people.
had to pay whatever fee like the people had.
gotcha.
I saw one dude. This the same place. Like I went to the Kanye concert when they released the Belugas, the original 350. I saw a guy there at the concert. He had a pair of the 350s on,
Mhm.
and there was another guy there that had 950s on.
Jeez.
And that dude, that guy was dressed like he was like a I
High
don't want to say like
fashion.
a create. Yeah, he was just like a high fashion. He was like kind of like a leather jacket. He was in nice like I think it was like leather pants or something. And I was like, okay, he
Okay.
kind of knew what he was doing. He was trying to make the
Yeah,
fit
yeah.
with it. Yeah, no, it was kind of cool. I definitely thought he was going to get really hot in the concert with it, but you know, what do it for the fit, drip or drown.
Yep.
Um,
Drown in
other
sweat.
samples though coming up besides those. I know I've been saying 650 this whole time, but is the 650s.
Mhm.
It looks like the private selection boys got their hands on the white pair and the black pair. It's pretty infamous. Of like the white pair was the one that Kanye West I think gave to French Montana, um, and then French Montana was photographed at an airport, and he's seen wearing them, and then like within like 2 months later, put them in his trailer, and somebody broke in and stole them.
Jeez.
I don't know if that's his pair. You know, I could be somebody else's. Who knows? There's probably a couple samples out there.
Yeah.
But that's definitely the first of either of those two I've seen in like regular people's hands. One of my buddies, Sabel, he's got the black pair and he's had them for quite a while. But would either of you guys have picked these up if they released them at retail?
What's retail?
Retail probably would have been about 250 if I had to guess.
250.
Yeah, just because it's a little bit more material than a
Yeah.
350, but it's not like it's not heavy material like like a 700 is, right? That's
Right.
so
I think
many
it's
different
so hard
layers
to
and
wear
everything.
because it's basically
Think
a
it's hard to
350
wear?
as a mid.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it reminds me of like the mid Ultra Boost.
I kind of
I think
I don't know, I kind of like it for the winter
Really? You
because
think so?
I don't
Really?
like the 350 in the winter time all the time. I feel
I
like
think
my
it's
ankles
the
get too
prime knit
cold.
would be still a little like too like breathable where you'd still get the air in your like toes.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
think
fine.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for me to say just because there's only the white pair and the black pair.
I
Yeah.
think I would still rather just pick up a cream 350s instead of these.
Yeah.
Instead of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd definitely take a bread 350 over the black 650.
Oh, for sure. Especially if like
I
I don't
think this
know.
was back in like 2016, 2017. It might have been a little bit different because, like, do you remember the tubular Adidas shoes? Like, those
Yeah,
were
that's what I was about
popular.
to say. Was this almost looks like that old Adidas shoe?
Exactly. So it's like those were more in fashion, but now I don't think it's as like
That's true.
wearable.
Yeah,
Mm.
I wonder if this is like the original Adi foam. Like Adidas just took the design and
Oh,
like ran with it themselves and was like, and Kanye just didn't want it, right?
yeah.
That could have been it.
Maybe.
I think that I'd like to think that Kanye's original choices with the models were heavily influenced, and then like later on with the colorways is where he kind of lost touch with it. In the sense that
Yeah.
like he, I think, was the one that canceled the 750 V2. Like they couldn't figure out how to fix the zipper and how to get a different strap and stuff, and like he couldn't get it to a way that he liked it, and I think that's why it was canceled.
Mm.
And I feel like that's like he's a perfectionist like that, right? Like
Yeah.
if he can't get it to work the way that he wants it to, it's not going to come out. And I feel like that's what happens to a lot of these. It just doesn't
Yeah.
come out right good
I think
enough.
the models like the phone runner and slides, like he had a pretty big like influence on like the original design. So I think he still was still
Hmm.
doing that, like just making the model, and then like Adidas would just make every colorway possible.
Yeah. Would
Yeah,
with the whole patent situation, does he own who owns the 650 if it is out there? Adidas
I
probably,
Um,
right?
I don't know. There's a few of these, and that's kind of where it gets weird. If there's this and like a bunch of other shoes that nobody even knows exists, but they've
Mm,
got some kind of design patents for them, right? There's shoes
yeah,
none of us know about, right?
right.
There's shoes nobody outside of like probably Kanye and like 20, 25 people probably know about, but
Yeah.
I have no idea where they locked that up. That's honestly a fantastic question.
Yeah.
Um,
So
because
I'm curious, like,
people
if
found it, right? I
yeah,
mean, people
so,
found all of the Adidas other ones really fast.
yeah. But yeah, I'm curious if Kanye does own the patent to this one, would he bring
Mhm.
these back as
The
like
the
his base
rumor of
model?
yeah, I was like the rumor of when he split. That's so funny that we hear police sirens in the back of the Chicago person. Um,
I
but
promise, I'm behaving.
the rumor was when Kanye and Adidas first broke up was
Mhm.
that Kanye had somewhere around like 14 almost designs in the barrel. Like he had them ready to go in his pocket that he
Mhm.
could start working off of. So this very well could have been one of those, right? Or
Sure.
there's,
Yeah,
14 other ones that nobody's seen or anything about yet.
yeah.
Um, I don't actually remember if in the Forbes picture, I think there was a couple of these, but I don't think we saw a lot of these either.
No, because I don't remember this silhouette, honestly.
There's
was
a
the
lot of
650 in the
350s.
Forbes
Yeah, a
picture?
lot of 350s for sure.
There's a lot of like modified 350s, so I'm sure there's probably one in there, but I don't remember seeing a lot of these.
I mean, there were
The
so
Forbes
many
picture has
shoes.
so
So it
many.
was like,
Yeah, I was like, they're just weird, non-branded, like it's a one-off kind of shoe, right?
Hmm.
And then speaking of a one-off, Um, another sample, not Adidas related, but switching gears a little bit. This one, I was really surprised to see this on eBay. Was the Jordan 4? They say Virgil's tweeted pair, which is the size 13. Um, I I think this is Bloody Osiris's pair.
that's
Maybe
pretty
Is this
insane.
the one that got passed around?
I so I think Bloody Osiris had a pair, and then there's another 13, and that was the
Oh,
only two 13s that I knew about. Unless his wife is a size 13, but I can't imagine she is, right? I imagine she kept her pair.
if she's of size 13, that means she's a size 14 and a half women's.
Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
true. So
insane.
that'd be
that
crazy.
that would be a big shoe.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I mean, obviously, a size 13 is pretty rare as it is in terms of like a sample. So
Right.
these were definitely made off for like probably maybe Virgil and somebody else in the group. I don't know if Virgil's a 13, but somebody else in the camp.
Hmm.
But 600K, I mean, geesh.
But that's
What
shipping.
do you
And
think?
the $15 shipping.
And $15 shipping. What do you think it could actually sell for? I don't think it could sell for 600 grand. But what do you think it could
No.
actually sell for?
These are confirmed never releasing, right?
Yes, 100% never will come out.
I don't know. 600 is way, 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 way high.
Do you think you could
Maybe-
hit 200,000?
I was thinking 100.
I think 2 or 100 only if you could have some kind of proof that
Yeah,
you've got Virgil with it.
right.
Because the
Yeah, if
only
this is like-
hands that you see in the picture are a white gentleman's hand. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
or maybe it's a lady, I don't know. But
If
I
these
think
were
it's a
like
gentleman.
actually Virgil's pair, that'd be like I think it hit at least 300K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can have that link, but you have to maintain that kind of story with it. Otherwise, I don't
Yeah.
think you'll do that crazy
That's
of
a
numbers.
picture with it, kind of gifted, signed, and everything.
Yep,
Yeah.
handshake. Stuff.
I don't think it came with that. It looks like it came with the box, and I don't even think it has writing in it. Let's see. Yeah, there's no writing in the box.
No.
Yeah, that's
It's
actually
just
the
the
thing.
regular
It doesn't have.
bag.
It's a
It's
sample
Virgil-
box because that's the only thing it came in. But Virgil usually wrote on his shoes when he gave them to people.
Mm.
Is that what you're about to say, Azeem?
Yeah, he usually wrote on his own pairs, like the shoes he gave to people. So
Yeah.
Because I remember he gave one of the Jordans to Drake, and he wrote like Air Canada, and then I think
Wow.
Serena got something written on hers as well. Right? I think Serena did.
I don't remember. I mean, I've seen like people have their written on pairs a ton. So
Yeah, I
I'll
wrote
take
on
your
my
word for it.
pair. I wrote on my Jordans. And that was actually I wrote on them right after I got them for like Christmas, and I tweeted it out and I tagged Virgil, and he liked it. So I was like, oh,
That's pretty sick.
that's my
Yeah.
cute moment with Virgil. But
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing to see these kind of off-white samples. I like that. The one thing that I really like about Virgil was that he set up those exhibits to like go around and show people even after his passing.
Yeah.
And that's something you will never really see from like a lot of the brands and stuff like that, which is sad to me. Like
Yeah.
I like seeing the samples, and I like seeing like, oh, we started with this, we almost had this, we came to this.
Yeah,
It's
all the
probably
different
a bit
ideas.
yeah, right. Like, oh, you could have had a 650 with straps, right? Instead,
Yeah.
This is what we got.
Yeah.
Something cool like that. It's like the behind the designs with Nike. I really like.
I was gonna say, you can actually see like the different iterations, the different like thought process that he had going on. He tried going one route, but pivoted and went a different route to what we have now.
I wonder if that goes into like just giving away company secrets, right? That's probably why they don't do it.
Yeah, probably like some NDAs and stuff, so it's hard to.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of these are just like leaked pairs and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. And the people that are selling them, right? Nobody's named or something, right? You're basically
Exactly.
selling it through a proxy almost.
Yeah.
But
You're like
but
at
kind
least
of
one or two people removed from it.
yeah, right, to be safe. Yeah.
Mhm.
So speaking on that, I guess if you had the opportunity to buy a sample, right, and somebody probably whatever one or two people across the lake or whatever came to you, what sample would you buy? I guess, and what kind of price range I guess would you go to for a sample? Really, all depends on obviously what you would do with it. But Azeem, you got anything?
Probably Off-White Jordan 1 Canaries, because that's like a pair I've been waiting for so long.
Mm.
I don't even know what the price range for that would be. I feel like
A lot.
yeah,
A lot.
exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not many pairs of those out there, so
Yeah.
you're fighting for
I
like
know.
maybe the one pair in your size.
Exactly. And then there's this Sotheby's listing for Mismatch Air Yeezy 2, and it was signed by Kanye.
Oh,
That's a pretty insane. That's like
The
probably a
which one?
50K pair.
Oh, whoa. Oh, okay.
see, at least with these, it's signed by Kanye. Like they
Yeah,
have like a
exactly.
signature, like something
And
attached.
it's got his little drawing on it.
Yeah. Like if the Bread 4 like off-whites had something like that, dude, those would be insane.
Wow, that's pretty wild. I think I want to say I know who owned these for like a hot minute. I've seen these before, I think. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but those are probably the
50K?
coolest
Nice.
pairs.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
What about you,
Those
Chris?
would be your two, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, Kyle, what you got? You don't
I
have
would
any samples, do you, Azeem?
no.
No, I have 0 samples.
Okay. Kyle, you don't either. Yeah.
No, I have no
Okay.
samples. I think probably the Union, the Black Toe Union ones. Like if there was a
Ooh,
sample of that or like an early like iteration of it, that would be really cool. Because
there
that
was a sample of them.
really,
Yeah, and they keep
Yeah,
popping up.
there
it
was
looks
one
similar.
recently. I think there was one really recently that just popped up.
Oh boy.
I think people are like reposting pictures, like saying like, "Oh, this is gonna release this here too."
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I thought for a while
okay,
people
that
were using them
rumor.
as like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like for me, that pair kind of kickstarted a lot of the pairs that I have now because of the story that
Oh,
um
oh,
that
it's a
he
Chicago sample. Oops.
that pair.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen
Okay,
that
yeah.
one.
This is the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So you said
when
black toe?
yeah. So like
Oh, okay.
I think like when I started getting into sneakers, I think that was like right after the Unions released initially. And I really like enjoyed the storytelling of like how, back in the day you would just instead of buying a new pair, you would just take your broken pairs and try to stitch them together. So like having like a sample of like the design process of the pair becoming what it is now would be really cool.
So like them like taking like 15 random Jordans, sawing them
Yeah,
off and just stitching it together. Yeah,
and
that'd be
seeing
pretty cool.
seeing like which ones like look the best, like to
Yeah.
because now it's like the
Yeah,
black
that'd be
toe
pretty sweet
is
actually.
was it the gray and the black, and then the other one is like was it blue and red, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but just seeing like all the different combinations, like how they went through it would be really really sweet to play around with, I guess. Price wise, I have no idea.
Yeah,
That's also gotta be pretty high up there.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
because it's
I've
like an iconic
never
pair now, right?
the only sample union I think I've seen is that one sample Chicago pair,
Yeah.
which was the gray top with the Chicago bottom. I don't think I've seen any other sample union ones. There's not
yeah. I'm
many, at
surprised they
least in the
keep it so
public.
like tight knit. We see like
Yeah,
the mock-ups, but not like actual pairs.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was it. And then obviously there's the rumor of another Jordan 1 union coming this year, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll do it again and maybe have another good colorway.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
What about you?
Um
What's your
so I already own two samples.
okay, flex on everyone here. That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's how I'm going last. Um but so one of them was the very first sample that I ever got was a Future Craft 4D sample.
Mhm.
That was met through somebody who got me where I needed to be.
Mhm.
And they got me in contact with somebody who got me that sample, Future Craft, which I think was like 1 out of 300.
Oh, nice.
Um, and I think there's only like 2 or 3 size 9s, so there's not many of them out there. And then I think that same guy, I think I said the story last time. They had the parlay sample one, the 1 of 50.
Mhm.
So that one would have been a nice pickup, but I chose the Future Craft. And then the other sample that I have is my Eminem 2s. Those are a promo sample pair that's actually in Eminem size.
Oh.
So like, yeah, that's why I was telling you earlier, right? Maybe you might find a sample that's not your size, but you go for it. I went for
Yeah.
that one because obviously that's just not something you'll ever really see again in that kind of size. So I swooped it up as soon as I could. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, with all the Yeezy samples coming out, I mean, I would like to grab a small Yeezy sample, maybe. Preferably something like the older times, like the 650s or something that's more of like the OG model kind of thing that he was working on. But I think that would be a cool thing just to kind of to keep in the vault. I'd like to have, I guess, one sample from every brand. So I've got like Adidas, I've got Jordan, you know.
New Balance.
Yeah, I don't. That's next. Like, let me turn like 30, and then I'll start getting the New Balance samples.
We don't
But
see many New Balance samples out, do we?
No.
I've never seen a New Balance sample in my life. I think Oh no, that's a lie. There was somebody recently who I think was promoting their New Balance collab, and I think they showed off sample colorways.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Was it? It wasn't Ronnie.
I was gonna say, how many people with New Balance collabs are there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
As
That's
of
what
late, at
it
least.
was somebody recently. Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but the picture had him holding like 4 pairs, and they were all like a different color.
Oh, it might have been Ronnie.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll try to find the picture later, but that's what that was.
Yeah.
So other than that, yeah, I don't really think that market's tapped into. That'd be pretty cool though.
Mm-hmm. I
I
feel like
wonder
It
if
would be
they're
interesting to
really
see.
tight-lipped about all of them.
of New Balance or anything.
New Balance.
Yeah.
I think partially it's just not as much hype there, so like people aren't looking into it as much.
Yeah, that's
There's not as
also a
much of a price
possibility.
tag to backdoor, right? Like
Yeah,
a sample.
exactly.
It's just
Yeah,
slightly
because like
above retail.
yeah. If anything, somebody's gonna ask you to mark it on discount because they can't find it anywhere. Hey, yo, are you sure this is real?
Yeah, I swear.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I guess we can throw that one in there now too. But for going in for after some of these samples, the one shoe I guess we kind of saw. I thought it was a sample for a while, and now it's actually coming out. Is that off white pine green mid? I
Mm-hmm.
think we thought it was a sample when Virgil was like just passing away, so we weren't sure what was going to happen with it. But it seems like they're rolling it out. Would either of you guys buy that?
No.
I don't think so.
I like the design. I mean, I think it's cool, but I would never wear that.
Did you
I think
get
if
the black
anything,
or white pair?
the white pair more.
Mm.
There's a white pair?
Yeah,
I
the
was
black and white
released
pair released
already.
together. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the green one I think definitely is a little bit more unique though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just am not a fan of the spikes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that definitely is a heavy off putter, I think, for most people. The
Yeah.
same with the
I've seen people
Kygers and all those.
rock
Yeah.
the Kygers in public.
Did they have like a high fashiony kind of outfit, or was it just with like regular clothes?
A little bit. I feel like you had to wear more of like a sporty outfit, like, but not like high fashion necessarily.
Mm.
Wearing off white track shorts and the off white tank top,
That's the
high
thing.
fashion. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't really think I've seen anybody with Kygers on in public. I did when I was in Dubai. They had the off-white store there had like everything. They had all the shoes and everything like that. Um, and that was cool, I guess. But like a lot of them, I was like, yo, I don't want any of the spike shoes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Because like I've never even around here, right? You've got them all available. I don't see anybody wearing those, right? You just see everybody wearing like the regular shoes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a similar thing to the reaction that people gave human races after they added the trail bottom.
Mm. Instead of the
Mm,
regular
I can
sole.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the attention on those died right after
Yeah.
that. People just did not like that at all, and they stuck with it and they kept pushing it.
Yeah. They
And
never
people
went
did
back.
not like that. Yeah, people did not like that. And by the time they went back, I mean it's now it's way too late.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And well, now he's at Louis Vuitton, so
Yeah, exactly. So now the rumor is, hey, we might get a Louis Vuitton Adidas next.
oh,
Since we
That'd be
got Louis
interesting to
Vuitton Nike
see.
now.
very
Okay, so I guess we could bounce to that real fast before we hit our last topic, which kind of goes into this. But okay, so if Adidas and Louis Vuitton get together, do you think it
Mhm.
would be like the what was the recent one that just happened? Was it Prada or was it Balenciaga? No, it wasn't Balenciaga.
There's Balenciaga and Gucci have had
It was
Adidas
Balenciaga and
collabs.
Gucci. Yeah. So do you think it would be better than those, or it would come out just as I don't know if I'd say gaudy, but
I think it'd
they,
be
they
a
just
pretty
weren't
weak collab.
memorable.
Yeah. I feel
I mean,
like when
if
you
Pharrell is
combine,
designing it, I think it might be a little bit better, but
Mm,
who knows?
yeah, I feel like right now, just based on like the past, like really high end collabs, it's just very forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
So unless like, you know, until we see like Pharrell's first line with Louis, I think it's hard to say like um how it will be, if like he'll tone it down or like he'll throw it in with all the mix of the high fashion and just there's like a lot going on.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
hoping he takes that route like Virgil did,
Like very
because
loud.
because Pharrell's always been a very colorful man, right?
Hmm.
Right, his outfits,
Yes.
the human races, um, what was the other stuff that he did was all his tracksuits, like all the Adidas collections, he had like full tracksuits that were all different colors and stuff like that.
He did a
Um,
whole line of Stan Smiths that were just like different colors.
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, I feel like his thing at Louis Vuitton is going to be pumping out a lot of colors, just like Virgil did. Um, which personally, I really like that. So like, I'm okay with that. I know some in the Louis Vuitton community did not like Virgil's uh BSing, if you want to call it, of luxury. Right? He was making like paper clips and like stuff into bracelets,
Yeah.
and things like that. Like it was making just like ironic pieces, and I don't think they really liked that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm very interested to see where it goes. I think the first show is in June.
But
I can't imagine we'd have any kind of Adidas collab for another year at least.
oh no. He has to get
Yeah, 100%.
has his first show first, then
Yeah, definitely. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on this to do well, so we'll really see how it goes.
yeah. Oh, we'll see. We'll see in the
Uh,
summer.
okay. And I think that finally leads us to our last kind of topic for today. So there was the ones that we found. So I found this originally on TikToks, but like now it's coming up through YouTube or not YouTube on Twitter through the
Sure.
YouTubers like Sneaker Fetish and LA3 and some of those guys. And they're really talking about this. I don't even know who his name is, but uh, Theo Bradley Arthur, I think that's his name, or the Bradley Arthur. Um, it looks like he was making a video and he was talking about things that have kind of messed up the resale space and what's ruining it. And he kind of pointed at some other factor in specific that we're not going to get into because it's a little loaded. But what are some factors, I guess, that Azeem, you've been here just about as long as I have, and Kyle, you're a little bit more recent. So I think we've all kind of got a little bit of a age difference in the experience for what we've seen. But
Mhm.
what's ruined the sneaker experience for you? Because we've all, I mean, like I don't know, I know people hear us as resellers and stuff like that, but House of Carts and us, most of us we buy the sneakers ourselves to wear too,
Yeah.
right? We're sneakerheads as well as sneaker resellers. So what's, I guess, making it less fun for you to collect, or what are you seeing as problems in the space?
I think
That's still a tough question. Oh,
yeah,
you want to go first, Kyle?
sure. I think for me, I think I saw on one of the responses on that on sneaker fetishes like thread, if you
Mm-hmm.
will, that a lot of it could also like come down to like the newer resellers, I guess, are coming in with like all this like new money or like parent money, in the sense of like they're seeing that okay, like at the beginning of the pandemic when I came in, right? Like that was when, you know, people were getting stimulus checks and, resale was pretty high at that point, right? Like you would be
Bowling.
able yeah, you would like be able to buy like pretty much anything and make like almost double, right? I think I saw that they were just people, well, the scene has seen a large influx of people who just saw the sneaker culture or like the streetwear culture as like just another place to make money and not appreciate the culture itself and the art that can happen behind like each of the designs. And they're just seeing it as another hustle or another dollar sign. And then as soon as it's like, and then they like bring the resale down when the money starts to dry up. Um,
Yeah, like they don't understand how to
keep it
react
going.
in the market.
Yeah. but
Yeah.
a lot of it was just like you're taking away from the culture aspect of it by just viewing it as dollar signs.
Yeah, and it's not even to say like I mean resale's been a part of the whole game and all of
Right.
this for a while, but now this is just on such an extreme level,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, definitely I agree with that 100%. What you got, Azeem?
Kind of connected to that. It's like people kind of looking at the shoes as just hype and like not knowing the backstory of all these models and like caring about the history a little bit
Yeah.
and kind of just looking at it as a fad and be like, okay, on to the next one. Instead
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
still cherishing the shoe even though it's out of fashion somewhat.
And like, you know, obviously there's other factors in play too, but I even think part of that is the brand's problem because like Adidas and Nike really obviously, you know, Kyle, you were saying, right, the pandemic, you could buy anything and it would resell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that 2016-ish, right, time frame, right before that, I would say is like the regular resale kind of era. And then right around that 2015, 2016 mark was like the start of like the high incline. And then once you hit like 2019, it's a straight up. I mean,
Yeah.
exponential, just directly up after that. But on those way ups, I definitely think that like Adidas and Nike saw, and Jordan, right? You know, they saw, okay, you know, people are buying, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter, right? We drop a Jordan 1 this weekend, we drop a Jordan 1 next weekend, it's gone.
Yeah.
So they just kept going with it. And I think that's where I mentioned overproduction. And obviously now, right, it's really biting them in the ass.
Yeah.
But I think that they really leaned on that and were like, okay, you know, if people are just going to keep buying, we're going to assume for a good reason, right, that not everybody's going to hit every release, which is a good assumption.
Right.
But they just pump out so much stuff over and over. You see, like, I think it's LA3 and like half those big dudes always like talk about like, oh, nobody ever gets a chance to like savor the colorway, right? Like you don't get to enjoy the release because like the next release is already here.
Yeah. Like
Um,
the when we saw on the like the Seafoam and the Crafts.
yeah, exactly.
There was one day in between the two.
Right. Yeah. So they're essentially making that knowing you're not going to get both. Right? They know you're only going to maybe get one. And like they're just expecting like you're just going to take the W for whatever you get. But the reality is people are entering both because either they want one and will sell the other for the other, or they just don't care and they're just going to flip it. Right.
Right.
Yeah. That was one thing for the overproduction. My other issue that I really think was a big one was I think StockX and like resale platforms becoming so mainstream because this goes to what you said, Kyle, how you said parent money.
Yeah.
So like when I got into this, which was like, you're right, the 2015-ish, 2016, that was like right around when StockX eventually started coming around. And I tried to show my parents like, hey, you know, like, would you guys help invest in my business and like help me do it? And I tried to explain like, oh, like I just got this Travis Scott shoe. I'm going to sell this for $1,000 now on this app. They were like, that's not real. They could not conceptualize because like obviously, right, you know, Indiana, there's barely a sneaker world out here. And not to mention people aren't out like it's not like a LA scene or anything like that where people are wearing like shoes and stuff. Your outfit is your shirt and your jeans. Like that's your outfit out here is what flannel and what jeans you're wearing.
Right.
So like, yeah, I never grew up around that and my parents had never experienced any of that. So like when I came asking, there was no answer for that, right? They supported me in the sense that like, hey, if you need food money, like we'll give you food money, but like we're not going to support you to like go waste your money to go buy shoes. Right. And then obviously one day when you bring home a couple $1,000s from shoes, all right, people start listening.
Like, come again? We'll like to invest at the bottom.
Yeah. What was it? Stunk X? What was this? What was this called? Yeah, but I think that StockX coming up, I think really pushed it to where it was like in your face about the money.
Yeah.
Right? Because
That's true.
you see the shoe and you see dollar signs. Like what else are you supposed to correlate after that?
Right. There's
you
no
can see
story.
like literally how much someone is willing to pay for this shoe.
Exactly. I definitely I'm like that was my thing when I wore my shoes in India, right? You know, I showed you guys a couple of the pairs that I was wearing, and I even went to that sneaker shop and I met up with the owners and talked to them. But I really hated the few people that knew like, oh, you're really big into sneakers. They wouldn't necessarily care that, oh, your chunky dunkies are a combination of like Ben and Jerry's, and like,
Right.
why do you like those? Oh, I like Ben and Jerry's because one, good ice cream.
Yeah.
Two, the company as a whole is very progressive. They're very like, they do fight for other rights and other movements, should I say, besides like, ice cream. So like I like the shoe and I like the brand. So like that's what
Right.
I wear. But people don't care. They want to be like, how much is that worth?
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, okay, it's worth a lot of money. I didn't pay that much for it. I won them in a raffle, but like they don't care for that part. And like
Right.
that's a normal person's view, I think, into this also is like they're just so used to seeing it on the news and they just see money. What else are you supposed to assume with that?
Right.
Do you think like Nike's trying to kind of bring that like story element of the shoes back with like the lost and found, where like it was literally like lost in a sneaker shop since 1985?
I don't know if that. Well, I don't know if
Is
I
it
can say for sure that they didn't know, like that was like planned ahead of time. Like if that was like the whole um idea was to bring back like a story aspect of it. But I do
or-
enjoy the fact that more and more people, like even normal people, were able to understand, like, hey, there is a story behind this. It's not just dollar signs.
yeah, it was actually well rolled out,
Yeah.
right? To the point that everybody knew it. The reimagined threes don't have a story like that, do they?
Not that I'm aware
I
of,
don't think
no.
so.
I didn't even know they had like a slightly distressed looking box, but then like I just saw somebody's
Oh,
right
really?
unboxing video. Yeah, do you not know that? It's
No,
like
I didn't
a
know that.
slightly, I think the top looks like slightly worn, distressed.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not the most I guess noticeable thing. I think once you get them in hand, you'll notice it. But like the
sure.
videos that you're watching, you're never gonna notice that kind of detail.
Right. Well, I
It's
mean,
just so minuscule versus like the Lost and Found was like the top and the bottom was off, right? The
mhm.
paper was completely different,
Yeah,
and it
there was
came
like
with
a
its own little
price.
receipt.
Yep.
Yeah, like it was very, very easy to spot the differences.
Yeah. I was gonna say to a not as um not to the extent of the Lost and Founds, but the skylines that are coming out later this month. Like the whole idea was that whole photo that a photographer took of Jordan going for a dunk with like the skyline and the sunset in the background. But I mean,
Oh, that was a
unless
real picture?
yeah,
Oh, I thought that was like an artificial like
no,
wow. Okay, wow. Okay, I like the shoe a little bit more now. I didn't know that.
yeah. So that I
I
think
I,
I think
I didn't
that's
know
the
that. Okay.
yeah that's the story behind it. But I mean, like to your point of like how the Lost and Founds like that was very well rolled out.
Oh, this one?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
like how the
Wow.
Lost
Okay.
and Founds were like that story, that whole um thing was like the whole design aspect of it was rolled out really nicely. Like I wish they did it for, smaller stories like the skylines, it would help people um I guess get a glimpse of there is stuff outside of just dollar signs. Like
Yeah,
like the behind the designs, like those
Yeah.
sneaker stories, like those are great. Like hearing was it Chris Gibbs from Union, like how that's why I really enjoyed the Union ones. Like he goes into like a story of like how he grew up and all that. So being able to appreciate the design and the shoe itself outside of the price is definitely something that I wish more people in the scene appreciated instead of just
Yeah.
seeing like, oh, this goes for 10x money or whatever.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I was gonna say I definitely was calling those Union Air Jordan 4s ugly with the tongue
Hmm.
until Chris explained, "Oh, that's how we used to do it back in the
Yeah.
day. Was we'd
Hmm.
fold it down so you could see what was on the tongue."
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh,
That makes
that
so
actually
much
makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that actually makes sense."
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that, you right? But like, oh,
Right.
okay, I don't think it's as dumb now. It actually
Yeah.
kind of makes sense to me. Okay, I get it.
It, yeah. Harkens back to like his days. Like it's a whole
Yeah,
different
right.
generation of, sneakerheads.
I really wish that like the same way that like Apple has like foregone their live broadcasts for like all of their WWDC stuff. I
Mhm.
kind of wish the Nike sneakers app would get. I mean, they can do their live stuff, but the
Yeah.
lives are good for like maybe those large showcases. But a couple pre-recorded things of like a behind the designs with some high graphic effects, like some CGI of somebody like working on the shoe or something, right? I don't
Yeah.
know, but you could make it look so nice, right? Or even just
Yeah.
a short, like a sneaker short,
Yeah. I was just
and do
thinking
like a
that. Yeah.
TikTok video of like how the shoe was made. Pay
Right.
like 13 interns and like have them make the videos. Like you could do so well with that.
Oh, 100%. Like they're a huge company. Like they definitely have the media team that can handle like, all the different products that they're rolling out. I mean, you don't have to do for every single one, but just the ones that are based on a story, right?
Yeah, or have a strong story effect, right?
Strong
Not
story.
just the
Yeah,
ones where they're like, let's throw the Celtic colorway, but let's make it purple.
yeah. Yeah. Like
Right?
it's not gonna hit. But like the skyline, for example, totally something that would be cool for people to understand the idea behind it.
Yeah. To show people the picture and then show them like how they tried to model it
Yeah.
onto the colors and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that's I like these a little bit more now that I know that that was the inspiration behind them. I
Mhm.
was just convinced they were like a shoddy tie dye Jordan, and I was like, wow, another one. Like, okay,
Nope. There's an actual meaning behind it.
yeah. The blue purple comes out so nice in these too.
Yeah. I'm surprised like how well the ombre comes out with this kind of material.
Yeah, the tongue is a little weird, but
It looks gray.
um, yeah, it looks a gray green.
Maybe it's just
But
the lighting.
Hopefully, it's just
yeah,
lighting. Yeah.
the rest of it
Nice.
looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. I like these stories added to the shoe, so it actually makes it like more memorable, like rather than just like
Mhm.
a shoe in my closet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were like really focused on like the Jordan and Nike aspect of it. Like, does Adidas have anything like? I can't think of like the last story based Adidas shoe.
Adidas'
I want,
favorite thing is taking like a collab and just like mashing it together in the worst way possible. That's
it's like
unfortunately
Stan
how it is.
Smith's
Yeah.
kind of have a story. Superstars, I'm sure, has some sort of story.
But
Like
I
those
feel
are the
like
only
Adidas
models.
does collabs and then does
Yeah.
no story. So like
It's just the name,
Jonah
right?
Hill, they got Jonah Hill. It was a Stan Smith, and there was no story behind it. It
Oh,
was
I think
just
I
like
remember that.
his writing of like Jonah Hill, and like I
Yes.
was like, yo, like I think they tried. They really tried to like make him say like some inspiration or something to the design, and people are like, "Yo, this is BS, right?
Yeah.
Like
You're
this is
forcing this.
not. You're joking."
Yeah.
What was the other one? The South Park collab, right? The South Park had
Mhm.
a whole collection. They did the Towelies, and it was so good. They came back and did a whole collection and did no story. They were just
Yeah.
like South Park shoes available now, right?
Yeah.
The
Maybe
Doctor Doom Marvel shoe, no story, just made the shoe.
yeah.
Black Panther collab made the shoes, no story. They really try to like ride other people's stories. It
Yeah,
feels like
write the collab and the names that are attached to it.
Maybe that goes back to Azeem. I think you said it earlier, right? The not having a good team here in the U.S.
Oh, and not
Right?
understanding the people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's it. Hey, Americans like Black Panther right now. Yo, let's make a Black Panther shoe.
Yeah, but let's tell a story
Yeah,
behind it.
exactly.
And like you
Hopefully.
could kind of tell like Adidas was out of the loop when like the Origin Jordan 1,
Mhm.
fire, 10 out of 10, amazing shoe. Then they made the Spider-Man game. They put
Mhm.
him in Adidas shoes. I can't even tell you anyone that bought that shoe. Not a single person bought that shoe.
Yeah.
And like that's what I'm saying of like Adidas really tries to ride other people's stories almost. And like I think that's maybe where people are like criticizing them so heavily.
Mhm.
I definitely think they can sell sportswear. That's not a problem. But anytime they collab with somebody like Beyonce,
Yeah. It's just a name.
Beyonce's sing to your fans and tell them to buy your merchandise. Like, Kanye can do it. Why don't you do it? Like that. I don't really know what their plan was behind that, but that was it. It was just like, hey, make more albums, sell more merch. That was it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it brings back to like when you were asking about like if I would buy any of the Kanye or like any of the non-Kanye affiliated Adidas stuff, and I said no. That's probably why, because like I
Doesn't
love
have the
like
story.
all my pairs have stories behind them or like some sort of
Exactly.
collab or meaning behind it, and that's what I really enjoy. But there's nothing going on behind Adidas for me to be like, oh yeah, that's a fun story to tell when people are like, oh, what kind of shoes are those? It's just like, it's Kanye. That's it.
Yeah, and I definitely think that with like the old style of like how some of these brands like they ask people like your favorite sneaker related stories, right? I think the old head mentality of like what that kind of was like, oh, I really wanted this shoe. I mowed lawns for like a summer and then like I camped out and like I got this shoe. Like I was first, I camped out overnight, I got that shoe, right? That was the old head style. I got my story. Now it's like I put my credit card on the Kith app and I won, right?
I prayed and
that's
I won.
it. Yeah. So it's like it's not as good, I guess, as a story, but it's a lot less work, so I'm not complaining about it. But it definitely takes away of like some of the fun to it.
Yeah.
I kept my bread 350s, and I won't ever get rid of those. But the pair that I won is my first ever in-store raffle. Right? Like I kind of knew somebody at the store. I won the raffle, and then and then I was like, "Hey, man, that's awesome. This is my first in-store W. I'm gonna take it."
Yeah.
So I was super ecstatic about that. Right, whether or not there was anything else involved, I don't know, but I won. So yeah, same thing with the Chunky Dunkies, right? I won the raffle on them, and it was like half of Twitter has seen the video of it. But yeah, I was just so excited that I was like, yo, I've got to keep these. Like they're just so good now. Yeah. Do you guys have any other really good sneaker, I guess, pickup stories? Be our final thing to share on today.
Nope. Not really.
No, just got them on StockX.
Like,
well, I mean, I said it in the first episode about the street
my
hoppers.
OG10 Off-White Blazer 10s were like, oh, I was trying so hard, entering every raffle on sneakers and all the boutique raffles, and then randomly DSM drops them, and I'm just like, oh crap, let me get it. And I finally hit it, and it was like, oh, this hard work, I'm gonna keep them.
Yeah, you earned them, man.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that, and like, I'm trying to think. Bread 350s because it was like my first like hype shoe.
Yeah, Bread 350s, man. Nice shoe, gotta say. He said some bad things, but he did make the Bread 350s.
Yeah.
You separate him and the shoe.
I mean, Chris, you have your story about Travis ones, and I think everyone who like hit on the sneakers app that day is like, they went through war for that pair.
You went through war, man. It was so bad, and it was like, yo, anybody who hit that pair, like they were just lucky enough that the app worked and like they got their pair. Yeah, definitely those kind of collab ones I think do really well with people, especially if you like the artist a lot.
Yeah,
right. Like the high for Travis shoes were going like crazy. Like people just wanted them so bad.
Yeah,
was a good time. But I think that's where we're going to end it for today. Thanks for listening this far. If you did listen all the way through, we really appreciate it. Make sure to give us a like and subscribe on YouTube, as well as a follow on Apple Music and Spotify. Don't forget to rate the episode. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.